What is going on, guys? Welcome back. It's almost morning, but here I am with Uchi, and this is what it's for, man. When you want the NFL chat, we go 100% hard in the paint, live reactions practically. Teddy Bridgewater tonight, I'll tell you, you got to love these Thursday night games, these competitive games. The Falcons, the Panthers, who wasn't glued to the TV, right? But listen, Teddy Bridgewater took some damage tonight, which really wasn't necessary. He basically got kicked, then took a shot to the back, and then went to the medical tent. And thankfully, he's okay. They came back in the game, but we're starting to see a lot of these. I don't want to call them, the quote unquote bang bang play. We're starting to see players just come in late, aggressively late, and hit players in the head. And I don't understand the mindset of that. You, as a former player, I will also say I was a little bit taken back. None of the offensive line really seemed to come down and defend Teddy Bridgewater after this like I thought they would.
Which is a big problem, in my opinion. That's one of the number one things that you're told out there on the field on Sundays, on Mondays, on Thursdays. Protect your teammates, protect your quarterback. If somebody does something that you think is on the edge or crossing a line, then you go over there and you let them know about it. You saw what happened with Mason Rudolph when Myles Garrett hit him over the head with the helmet. His O-lineman went straight after Myles Garrett. That's what should have happened here for Teddy Bridgewater. And that's part of the problem with how these new age offensive linemen are coached. A lot of them are soft. A lot of them don't have that true aggression that you should have as an offensive lineman. And this is just another example. Same thing that happened with quarterback from Dallas. What's his name again?
Andy Dalton?
Cheap shot. He got cheap shotted by the Andy Dalton. Yeah, his name slipped out of my head. Andy Dalton had the same situation happen to him in the game against Washington. He gets cheap shotted. No offensive linemen are over there helping him up. No offensive linemen are over there taking some aggression towards the defender that did it to him. And again, you have a defenseless player laid out on the turf with no one backing him up. To me, that was disappointing to see once again from offensive linemen in this league. But I think it was dirty. I think that's, and I don't say dirty as in these guys are dirty players, but I think that that's a move that they knew that they didn't have to make. I think that Dante Fowler Jr. tripping him was borderline dirty. That's something that you do intentionally to keep him from advancing, and you trip him up. That can cause an injury. And then a shot to the back of the head after he's already on the ground, after he's tripped to the ground, a shot to the back of the head. Unacceptable, uncalled for. I hope the NFL finds and suspends at least one of them.
Well, Charles Harris was actually ejected from the game for it. The play, I think, to me, was the most egregious, was the fact that literally Teddy Bridgewater was sitting on the turf, sitting down when he got hit in the back of the head. As far as Fowler, I know there's a lot of cries for his, obviously inclusion into the penalty or the ejection. I guess the only question I have is, it did appear that he was possibly being lifted up, but he does clearly extend his leg into the path of Teddy Bridgewater.
He jumped. If you're watching it in slow-mo, he jumps off his left leg with his right leg going towards the path that is open for Bridgewater to run through. That was perfectly timed by him to trip him.
I bet if you put like a ninja sound effect in it and timed it with the jump, it would probably seem a lot more likely. But it also did look to me like he was trying to get free, but was also being lifted by a much stronger player. But I do agree. The two of them put themselves in a position where neither of them belonged. Neither of them really impacted the play all that much. I mean, if anything, this wasn't like it was preventing a touchdown. It wasn't causing a fumble. Bridgewater was going to the ground once he got tripped anyway. So how do you get to the pro level? How do you have the only game tonight where, like you said, the national attention, the national focus, and you've got even a play like this that conceivably happens where everyone looks at this hit and says, hey, these two guys This just isn't professional. This isn't quality football. Is it the lack of preseason? Is it the lack of coaching? Is it the lack of discipline? Is it the
It's
fact that
laziness. It's laziness,
doesn't that come in
in
the
my
doesn't
opinion. It's
isn't laziness built in with teams with these records that they're a little bit lazy? Although the Falcons, to be fair, they're a couple blown leads away from being in the playoff race. I don't want to down the Falcons too much, but it definitely is something you don't want to talk about. We want to talk about a good game, not something that was just so egregious. And like you said, right on the heels of, you didn't know, you didn't remember his name, right on the heels of Andy Dalton. You would think when somebody gets hurt like that, or there's a dirty hit like that, isn't that not echoing through every team's locker room, every meeting the following week, and say, listen, don't be this guy. Don't be the guy on the poster that hurts somebody that looks stupid. And yet here we have two players willing to go on that poster.
Yeah, I mean, this is just something that, you talk about playing a clean game, and these are the things that players, don't do. Like you don't see guys launch themselves. I mean, I'm looking at this replay right now, and it just doesn't look. He jumped. You can tell he jumps off his left leg, swings his right foot right into that open space. Bridgewater stumbling on the ground, stumbling towards the ground. He's clearly not going to be able to gain any yardage. And then he takes a shot in the back of the head. I mean, come on. When we talk about playing clean football, this is not clean football. And I don't think these guys are dirty players by any stretch. But those were some cheap tactics that they used. One of them, actually both of them, are flaggable offenses, personal foul and tripping, which is a penalty. I think tripping is actually a personal foul as well. But just completely unnecessary. And that's where, as a player, where's your technique? Get off the block, disengage, tackle him. Why do you have to kick your leg out there to trip him? And then with Harris, where's your self-control? You see that he's not going to gain a yard. You can lead with your hands and push him in the back if you think he's, you need to tap him to be down, but you lead with your shoulder in the back and your shoulder and your helmet right into the back of this guy's head. I mean, come on. It's uncalled for, and it's just not. That's not professional. That's Bush League, and I say that trying to still emphasize that I don't see these guys as dirty players, but that was just a dirty moment for both of them.
I think what you're saying there in less words is that is a play that is going to get you kicked off any football field, because it's the player's safety, health, and I mean, I hate to say it, respect for the other team and respect for the other player. No one wants to get hit like that. And they certainly, at least in Harris's position, had a number of different ways to approach the tackle, this being by far the worst. There was no worse thing he could have done.
I mean, it doesn't get much more just undisciplined than that, because even if it wasn't a situation of Teddy Bridgewater getting tripped, the simple fact that he was falling towards the ground and you decide you're going to continue on and lay into him with a shot in the back of his head, it doesn't matter if it's a running back. You're still going to get a penalty for that.
Agree completely. Thankfully, Teddy Bridgewater is okay. The Falcons continue on to win, but this definitely will be a topic of conversation across really all sports, I would say, for the next couple days. We don't normally see plays like this at the highest level of football. Appreciate you guys checking this out, and just know, anytime news breaks, you may have to come to this channel without a notification. No, me and Uche are going to be here to talk about football with you. I appreciate you watching this, as does he. Go check out his channel. I'll put a link down in the description. We will be back in the week with more commentary.